I'm Dave, and this is my story. Living with anxiety for me at points became crippling. It made my world extremely small. It made things that I love to do every day with friends and family non-existent. It just gave me such a sense of dread and fear that even normal everyday things that I would enjoy before became scary and impossible to do. Not only was it having the anxiety, but then the fear of having the anxiety in certain situations that was kind of like that preemptive anxiety that really stressed me out before even going to something. That was something that I really found to be difficult and was constantly on my mind, was that anticipatory anxiety. For me, panic attacks were very difficult. I can remember, especially in the car driving, situations where I would go on the highway to go somewhere and I'd have to pull over because I just felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like my heart was going to explode out of my chest. Sweaty, shaky, and for me, they would go 0 to 60. They really became scary to the point that I thought, I was dying. I can think of several trips to the hospital where I was told, that it was just anxiety. But to me, the fear that they cause and the real physical sensations were so severe at times that they limited me from doing almost anything. Before finding Confronting Anxiety, I didn't feel like I had control over my anxiety. I felt like my day-to-day life was greatly hindered. I felt like the things that I had been trying, whether it was reading books or talking to people or talking to family and friends or medication, I didn't feel like I could ever truly get a hold of the anxiety and control it so that I could live the life I wanted to live. I just felt this vicious cycle that I couldn't break, and Confronting Anxiety was the only thing that really helped me to get through that. I think what helped me the most from Confronting Anxiety was two parts. One would be the fact of listening to other people's stories and realizing that I'm not alone. That was huge for me because when you're in these situations, you honestly feel like you're losing it. Like you feel like you're so strange for having those feelings, and that you're like, why are you dealing with this? And it's just me. And to hear other people's point of views was really refreshing. And then the other thing would just be the relation to faith. That was the biggest change for me. I'd never had a program or anything to look at that brought God into the equation. And to me, that changed everything. That was so much bigger than, that God is so much bigger than my anxiety, and that there were steps in scriptures and things that they showed me how God can take your anxiety and be there with you was just amazing. That was the biggest difference for me from any other thing that I had done. My favorite coping skill would be the so what if skill of that. You're looking at the situation and saying like, so what could be the worst that would possibly happen? That to me, because my thoughts were so unrealistic, when I really thought about and thought through it, instead of like being in this wild loop of fear and panic, thinking about, okay, so what's the worst if this actually happens? If I actually embarrass myself, if I actually have to leave. And I found that those things weren't as bad as my deep-rooted fears were, and that was a huge skill for me. That really helped a lot. Life today, for me, is awesome. I have 2 little kids, beautiful wife, and I just feel like I'm going in such a positive direction. I feel like there's so much ahead of me. There's so much I want to do that I want to just fulfill my potential, and I don't feel scared to live my life. I just genuinely feel blessed that I had Confronting Anxiety, and that I had to hear the voices of other people that really guided me through, and everything that Anita said to help me just understand what was going on inside and going on with me, and also to just put my trust in God. And that has just made me feel better as a person and feel better spiritually, and just I feel better about my future than I have in a really long time. What I would say to those considering Confronting Anxiety would be, you have nothing to lose. That there's so much to gain, that you're not alone, that I can guarantee you that I feel like I have been in situations that other people have been in, that they feel like they're gonna die, or they feel like they can't go on, or they feel like they're having a heart attack, and I've experienced all of it and I've come through it. And with a program like Confronting Anxiety, it gives you the hope to know that you can do it and that you're not alone. And to me, knowing that I wasn't weird or that I wasn't, like a freak for having this stuff made me feel so much better and gave me so much hope. And I think just the strategies and the scriptures and things that you can apply every day in situations when you're feeling weak and when you're feeling scared and when you're feeling alone, that there's no reason not to do the program. I just think it can change your life. That changed mine. I'm Dave, and that's how Confronting Anxiety helped me.